Can you talk about what days like today mean to come out and see the guys you did battle with, and guys who worked on your cars, and friends and fans?
It's unbelievable to come back and see the guys that you run with the years, competed with against the years, that built the cars you ran, and I mean, I can't wait to get here when this, when these, because every time you come, there's less guys, you get to miss them, and it's the greatest thing that ever, this Al Finney for doing this, and all these guys, this is the greatest thing since 7-Up.
You talk about some of them being missing. Does it make the guys who remain, does it make you all even tighter as the years go by?
Well, I'm living so far apart. I mean, like I'm up here, I see the guys up here. I'm not well known in Florida, because I compete up here all the time.
Right.
As far as I went, it was Martinsville, or when I get down there, we ran New Smyrna Speedway, and, never competitive. Like up here I was competitive. I mean, this was my stamping grounds, New England, New York, and New Jersey, Martinsville, but I was never a big track man. That came after my heyday. I mean, nobody is looking for a 60-year-old big car driver, you know what I mean? Nobody's looking for Leo Cleary in Daytona,
When you come into a place like this and you first drive in the gate, any racetrack, the ones that are left, what goes through your mind? Do you think of the wins there? Do you think of...
I remember running the rim here, and now I remember when we come down here, you ran it right to the edge of the dirt, and now they're telling me it ain't the way to go. You stay on the bottom. This used to be all dirt up on the outside of this rim, and you get up here, you were in trouble. But I used to love to come here and run it right on the rim. Give the guy the bottom, and he couldn't get you, Till one night, the 100 lap or the 99th lap, Kenny Bouchard tried to run me, and the both of us ended up in the fence not finishing.
Yeah. Whose fault was it?
His fault. It wasn't my fault.
Now, you were a guy that built your own cars and did all the chassis work and tinkered with everything that you drove.
That was the part I loved of it. I loved fooling with the car, And I think when you fool with the car, you're a better race driver. Because you learn what it needs. I can come in and tell somebody, but if they don't understand, but if I say, let's do this, and you vote and it works, if it don't work, you're to blame. Now it's all computerized. The driver just gets in the car and they press some buttons, but in the old days, your seat of your ass told you which way it was going. And I think the best years I loved was from the 60s to the mid-80s, the early 80s, before Jeff and all they said coming with all Armstrong's money and Hood's money and all. We had more fun. Bernie Barrows is the most and Joe Brady was more fun than I ever had,
You were always known as a hard-nosed racer. Is that just a product of the places that you started at?
You getting a few firsts. I paid a lot of fines for paying guys back, you know what I mean? I didn't believe in paying a guy back with the car. I wasn't going to wreck his car. But you'll answer to me when we get in the pits. I'd rather pay a $50 fine than wreck him and wreck my car. You know what I mean? But when they started finding $200, like I whacked Cook up in Dover, and when it cost me $200, I started putting my hands in my pocket. Because $200 with 6 kids was a lot of money.
And what has it meant after all these years to be a member of the Near Hall of Fame and to look at the group that you're in with?
Biggest honor. I never thought I'd ever be in a Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? You see us getting bigger, and it's getting hard to get in them. Yeah. When it started, it was easy because there was only so many of us. Now there's so many guys that are eligible that can't get in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that should be in it, but how many can you put in?
But at the same time, you say there's a lot of guys who deserve to be in there. You are in there, so does that make it even more of an honor?
I'm looking at guys out there that beat me that aren't in it. Yeah. I'm saying how lucky. I was very honored to get in it the second year. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't think I should have been in it yet.
But you're there.
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah. But I'll tell you, I had more fun racing than anybody.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, I wouldn't trade 1 minute of it.
And when you go to the Hall of Fame dinner and see those guys, I watch you guys after the first half hour or so when you're talking when you first get there and everybody's elbowing each other. It's like your kids again, isn't it?
Yeah, right, yeah. You know, like, I mean, I can't believe I'm as old as I am. I really can't. You know, you still feel like you're 50.
Yeah.
You feel like you could jump in the car right now and do the job, which is beyond, I'm beyond that stage. But you still say, geez, I could run that thing.
Does it still feel like home? Not specifically this place, but a racetrack?
Yeah. The racetrack I miss more than anything in the world is Waterford Speedbowl.
Yeah.
Rickety old, want to know something? You could win there. There was nobody, I mean, there was 2 grooves. One guy had the groove, he had the other. One thing, there was no blocking there. Because you could, the short track, I mean, I won Seacon. I never won a championship at West. I won Seacon, Stafford, not Stafford, Thompson, all that, but the place I loved to go to was Westbrook. Westbrook. And when we first started, when I haven't drank for 40 years, but before that, we used to wear the Key Club out in Westbrook parking lot.
What was the Key Club?
There was a bar next to the track. Afterwards, we got stiff.
Run the race all over again.
Oh, you want to know something? All the guys that I built cars with, the only one that's alive is Joe Brady. Joe Garrier, John Doherty, Charlie Perkins, George Drysdale, those guys were all dead.
Yeah.
You know, they were all dead.
Make it fun to still see the cars then, you know?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something left, you know?
And Joe Brady is still going at it.
Yeah.
You know?